It's 11 p.m., and the 20th floor of Sterling Corporate looms over Chicago like a glass lighthouse, all steel and amber reflections. Henry Webb pushes his squeaky cleaning cart along the marble hallway, every wheel chirp bouncing off oil paintings that probably cost more than his yearly salary. For 3 years, he's worked this night, shift emptying trash, mopping floors, vanishing before the morning stampede of power suits. He's invisible, which is why what happens next hits like a brick. Through the frosted glass of Conference Room B, a silhouette moves slouched, trembling. Amanda Blackwell, the CEO herself, still in her designer blazer, except now it's wrinkled. One hand clutches her temple, her breathing sharp and shallow, and her left eye twitches twice like a glitching animation. Henry freezes. That twitch? That's no caffeine crash. His chest tightens, seen this exact combination before. Stroke. Imminent. Fatal if ignored. Historians still argue whether intuition comes from training or instinct, but Henry knows the truth here. It comes from love. His late wife, Rachel, a stroke specialist, drilled these signs into him like multiplication tables, making him promise he'd never ignore them. He pushes into the room without a sound. Amanda looks up, eyes glassy. Trying to speak, her words come out thick and garbled. "I'm fine," she slurs, though her left arm is dead weight. That's 3 textbook symptoms. His phone's already dialing 911. "Ma'am, you're having a stroke," he says with the same calm Rachel once used on panicked families. He positions her, checks her breathing, keeps her still until the sirens slice through the midnight quiet. At the hospital, the paramedics trade surprised glances when Henry answers their rapid-fire medical questions like a seasoned nurse. Amanda grabs his sleeve, her speech clearing as clot-busting meds do their work. "How did you know?" she whispers. "My wife," he says simply, "taught me to never miss the signs." By morning, Henry's back in his small Millfield apartment, making dinosaur-shaped toast for his 8-year-old son Oliver. The knock at the door reveals Amanda, minus the armor of suit, holding sunflowers and looking oddly human. Oliver peers out, and in a blink Amanda's crouched, smiling warmly at him. "Your daddy saved my life," she says, and Oliver beams. His innocent add-on, "Mommy taught him before she went to heaven," lands heavier than any corporate handshake. In that moment, Amanda seems to see the whole truth. The sacrifices, the quiet nights, the man who chose action over hesitation. A week later, Amanda surprises Henry again, not with flowers this time, but with an invitation to lunch. He braces himself for some glittering high-rise dining room where the menus don't list prices, but instead she drives them to Mel's Pancake House on Old Route 66. No valet, no glass chandeliers, just chipped mugs, sticky syrup bottles, and the smell of bacon that could wake a hibernating bear. Oliver orders chocolate chip pancakes for lunch, and Amanda teaches him how to build sugar packet towers between bites. It's the first time Henry sees her laugh without restraint. While Oliver drifts to the jukebox, Amanda leans in, voice soft. "Tell me about your wife." Henry's calloused hands curl around his coffee mug, drawing warmth. Rachel worked stroke rehab for 15 years. Every night, she'd quiz him symptoms, meds, emergency protocols, claiming you never know when knowledge might save a life. The night she died in a car accident, she'd been coming home from a double shift. Amanda reaches across the table, brushing his hand in a gesture so gentle it catches him off guard. "You've been raising Oliver alone since then?" He nods. It's not self-pity, just fact. Their conversation flows easily, a strange mix of Oliver's math homework struggles and Amanda's confessions about corporate loneliness. She admits her doctor, Dr. Patterson, has been brushing off months of headaches and dizzy spells as executive stress. Henry frowns. Those are textbook precursors. Any competent neurologist would have ordered scans immediately, he says. Something in her expression shifts a shadow, like she's realizing her trust might have been misplaced. Over the next 3 weeks, Amanda keeps showing up at Mel's every Sunday, always with little gifts for Oliver, a baseball glove from her brother, art supplies, dinosaur books. Henry sees it now. Beneath the penthouses and jets, she's as lonely as he's been. Oliver notices, too. "She's sad like you used to be," he whispers one evening. Then, on a Monday night, Amanda misses their pancake ritual. Henry assumes life has pulled her back into her own orbit until he finds her slumped over her desk at 2:30 a.m. This time her right hand shakes uncontrollably, and her pupils are uneven. "I'm calling 911, he says, but she panics if the board learns of more medical episodes. Wilson Hart will seize her position. Henry thinks fast. "Let me drive you to the hospital. Routine tests, no ambulance." She agrees, and minutes later, they're in the ER, where Dr. Sarich and Rachel's old colleague orders a battery of tests. The results confirm Henry's suspicion: repeated mini-strokes and underlying cardiovascular damage. Dr. Chen asks to see all Amanda's previous records. What she finds makes everyone's stomach drop: subtle falsifications in every test, hiding her true condition. Not sloppy errors, but deliberate manipulations. The list of possible motives is short, and Wilson Hart's name sits right at the top. The truth hits hard. Dr. Patterson, tied to Hart through shell companies, has been falsifying Amanda's medical records. Blood pressure downplayed, cholesterol fudged, early neurological signs swept under the rug, all to keep her health spiraling until Hart could swoop in as successor. Henry feels his hands shake, not from fear, but from rage. "We need to go to the FBI, he says. Amanda hesitates. Without airtight proof, Hart will crush her publicly and professionally. That's when Henry proposes the nuclear option. Go public. Tell the world how a night janitor, armed only with knowledge from his late wife, caught what her private physician missed twice. The human interest angle would explode across the media. Hart's plan would collapse under scrutiny. Amanda warns him about the cost: privacy gone, Oliver dragged into a spotlight. Henry thinks of Rachel's words: medical knowledge should serve people, not power. Some things are worth the sacrifice. The story detonates on a Tuesday morning. "Night janitor saves CEO's life twice" blares from headlines. By noon, every major outlet is camped outside Henry's apartment. The FBI calls. Agent Sarah Martinez has been investigating Sterling Corporate for healthcare fraud and wants Henry's testimony. In a federal building downtown, Henry lays it all out: the symptoms, the falsified records, the motive. His working-class plainness cuts through the legal jargon like a knife. Within 2 weeks, Hart and Patterson are arrested: conspiracy, healthcare fraud, attempted murder. Hart gets 25 years, Patterson 15, and a stripped license. Sterling Corporate overhauls its medical oversight. Amanda's reputation rebounds stronger than ever. But victory comes with a quiet ache. Henry's now unemployable as a janitor, too public, too recognizable. Amanda offers him a role in the company's wellness program. He declines. "The media circus changed everything between us," he says. She asks if it has. Tobit both know their worlds are still miles apart. A year later, Henry runs an art therapy studio for stroke survivors, funded by a book deal and speaking events. Every Friday, Amanda's car appears across the street. Sometimes she leaves a painting. Sometimes she just sits, watching through the glass. He returns the gesture with his own paintings. A silent exchange neither interrupts with words. Oliver, now 9, understands in a way that's both simple and profound. She just needs to know we're still here. Snow falls, the seasons turn, and the ritual continues. Some connections, Henry realizes, are too rare to label sacred distances that hold more love than touch ever could. The studio smells faintly of turpentine and warm coffee. Outside, the streetlights hum against the winter air, each one casting a soft pool of gold on the sidewalk. Henry rinses a brush, watching the paint spiral away in slow, lazy ribbons. Oliver hums to himself nearby, stacking jars of colored pencils like miniature towers. There's no rush, no boardroom deadlines. No hospital alarms, just the quiet rhythm of a life rebuilt from pieces that once seemed broken beyond repair. Across the street, a familiar black sedan slows, pauses, and idles. The driver's silhouette is still, but he knows she's looking in, just as she always does. They don't wave. They don't need to. The understanding is already there, stitched into the air between them like invisible thread. Some might call it unfinished business. Others might call it restraint. Henry thinks of it as a promise one neither of them ever spoke aloud, yet both keep faithfully. The snow begins to fall heavier now, muting the city's usual clatter into a gentle hush. Inside, the studio is warm, its walls lined with canvases that tell stories in strokes and colors words can't touch. Somewhere in the background, a clock ticks slow and steady, measuring not the hours lost, but the moments gained. And as the black sedan pulls away into the night, Henry feels the same quiet completeness he's come to expect, each Fredia fullness that doesn't demand more than this. A glance, a presence, a memory honored in the simplest way possible. In that soft, unhurried moment, life feels whole, and the story, for now, can rest.